All right, folks, I started a 60-second ad break, and when that ad break concludes, we'll begin our stream proper. I hope you're doing excellent out there tonight, everybody who's out and about. I'm doing all right. I'm looking forward to a fine evening of working on model kits in a way we don't normally do on the stream. It'll be my first time on this very stream doing this, which we'll talk about once the stream gets started. I've only done it once before on any stream ever, so that's kind of fun and cool, and should also be pretty laid fucking back. That's the real call. Is that this will be a pretty nice stream, which is good, because mentally that's what I'm here for. Is just something nice and probably fairly easy. We're gonna get started in just a moment or two. Waiting for the 60-second ad break to conclude, and then we'll get into it. We got 4 kits to paint, and I think it's gonna be fun. Maybe. I don't know. And we might even do a bonus 5th kit. If maybe. We're going to get started in just a moment or two. Get ready for it. It's coming your way. Okay. Hello and welcome to the Bill with Baer Workshop. My name is Pat Baer, and I'm here to paint some model kits and to hang out with all of you. I'm throwing the Bear Cave, the Lego, the Scythe, the Tier 2 blue emote in the chat. If you are currently a subscriber, you can reply with those emotes. If you are not yet a subscriber, you can say hi or use other people's emotes. Or if you feel like being a lurker, you can go ahead and lurk. And that's okay. Lashbrook is here. Hello, Lashbrook. Ghost Valve is here. Hello, Ghost Valve. This might be a chill Saturday. It might be kind of light on audience. I don't know if this is everyone's cup of tea. Harold just subscribed at Tier 1 for 69 months, saying, finally, the nice anniversary. Harold, thank you so much. Let's throw the Bear Cave Lego Scythe and Tier 2 blue emote in the chat again to thank Harold for renewing and for being a subscriber for the nicest number, 69. And Ghost Valve just resubbed at Tier 1 as well, saying 27 months, almost a year, which is, of course, inaccurate, but also thank you for 27 months. That's very, very kind. That's over 2 years. Thank you very much for that. Let's throw the emotes in the chat and thank Ghost Valve as well. Very much appreciated. Thank you for renewing your sub. Thank you for 27 months, and of course, Harold for 69 months. Nice. So what's the plan for tonight? It's a little different from normal. Now, if maybe you didn't watch my stream that I did for the Plastic Model Weekender that happened this year, back in April, because it was Thursday in the afternoon / late morning, and you didn't see it, which is understandable. If you missed that, instead of building a model kit during my 2-hour block, instead I painted 2 kits. The kits that are actually back here that are very difficult to see that they're painted from being all the way back there. But those 2 kits, I used glitter paint. I found this great glitter paint. Here's the bottle right here. Ceramacoat from Delta Creative. Glitter Explosion. And I got this bottle of paint and I used it and I realized, like, wait, I have like half a bottle of paint left. Because I really covered those kits in paint and then also painted the stands. I painted every inch of those kits. And I got to thinking a while ago, someday I should do a stream where I just paint kits. I've got a bunch of kits that I've saved. You know, I have kits that I like to be on display, but I have some other kits as well that I use that I just store. And I was like, what if I painted some other kits? I think that would be pretty neat. And that one to poll, it's going to be a 1 stream only. On Monday, I will start something new. I believe the Gundam Rose will get going because that didn't win a poll, but I just want to build Gundam Rose, so I'm just going to build it. Unless tomorrow or Monday something arrives from my wish list, I'm just going to build the Gundam Rose on Monday. But anyway, the plan is that I got 4 kits, and I'm going to build them or paint them. They're already built. They're just hanging out, and I would like to cover them with glitter paint and then throw away the rest of this glitter paint. So that's what we're gonna do here. Let's go to the overhead. Here's the overhead. Here's our first of 4 kits. You can see I got 2 kits in the corner and then other 2 after that. This is the Haropla. This is the Haro Fitter. It is meant to do construction work. It's got its wheels can turn and it can pop off to like little pokers so for more stabilization. The Haro does come out of it. And there is a bonus to this kit, which I will showcase now, and then we'll see more thoroughly later, which is I'm not going to do these anyway, so you don't have to worry about that. But if you take it, you turn these out, pop it up so it's a little taller, and you take your Haro out, and then you open these up a little bit like this to make it taller. Then you take a master grade. In this case, this is the Eagle unit of the heavy arms, but it has the Endless Waltz side rockets because the rockets it came with are on my heavy arms to make the ultimate heavy arms. You take your kit, you set it up in a seated position, like it's going to go take a sit, and you plop it on there, and the Haro fitter becomes a toilet. It looks great from this angle, and that also looks great from this angle. As you can see, the Haro becomes a toilet, and I'm going to have a sparkly toilet for a master grade, which is nonsense that I think y'all can get behind. That's even a better shot, I think. You can really see that this is the backpack here really does make it look like a toilet. So we're going to paint this kit with glitter, and then we'll do other ones. I don't think we're going to do this kit in glitter, but we could. But I don't... that's a bonus, I guess. I'm going to say that's a bonus. If we get to it, we'll do that. This was not an advertised kit that we would be hitting up with glitter. But we'll fold these in because it's easier to get in there. So yeah, basically any part of this kit that is white, we're going to hit with glitter. I don't think I'm going to do the Haro ball because I like the idea that the Haro is going to sit on a glittery fitter. And so the Haro will just be its normal self. And then it will sit on lovely glitter. We'll start by this way here and do it. So let's get into it. I have these disposable, kind of cheapo sponge brushes. I bought a big pack of them, and I have several of them left. They're large, and there's one size smaller. So we've got this and any other smaller size. Oh, before I do this, before I start getting paint on myself, glitter paint on myself, I'm going to retweet my tweet. Send me a few more hints here. So I have some paper towels if the need arises for paper towels. This surface I can clean very easily of glitter because I did get glitter on this back in April. And then my mouse, I just have a napkin over my mouse so I can still use it to move things around. The wheel is, I have to kind of work the wheel to get that working, but otherwise, no problem. So we can get started here. I think I'm going to do this because I want this to dry. And yeah, I'm just going to liberally apply this paint and get a lot of glitter. And I'm going to try to just do all the white parts, but if I get the black, it's fine. It won't show as well, which is fine. But I'm not going for that. This part, we won't even see when it's in the set. Momster Hobbies just followed. Thank you very much. Thanks for hitting that follow button. I appreciate it. Welcome to the Baer Workshop. This is my first ever on this channel painting stream because I am not equipped here to do any kind of painting. I've never been in a position to easily set up paint and do all that. Not even hand paints. We use markers a lot, but never painting. And this is my second time ever using this glitter paint, and the first time on one of these streams. So this is, like I said, a little bit of a rarity for the old Bill with Baer Workshop. I just have some paint here in a plastic cup that a thin plastic cup that I just cut down to make it a little easier. Because that way, I think I used I don't have a good palette for a paint palette. I think I just used a paper plate last time, and this way it contains the paint. All right, so we'll do this. We'll hold it here. I've got some tweezers if I want to use tweezers, but I think it's okay to just hold it here. I can even do this because I won't be painting this part here. So I can just hold it like that. And I got a little paint there, but it will come up. Like I said, water will take care of that pretty easily, as long as I don't let it sit for too long. Because if I let it sit for overnight or something, I would be in some trouble. But for this, I think we're okay. I think we'll be all right. Yeah, I'm happy for it. Like I said, I had this paint from a previous project from a charity stream because I thought that would be very neat, and it was a little different and unique for the streams to do that. And since I had it left over, I figured I would cover some kits in paint. All right, so I'm going to try not to get this paint on the sticker here, this front sticker. I'm going to, so I might not get a nice even coating here everywhere, but that's okay. And then when I think this is getting a little too caked in the paint, I will switch out to another brush because I have several brushes. I'll try to get this centered so y'all can see what I'm up to. Tonight is SummerSlam. We're getting SummerSlammed here. I did not do a preview on Thursday because I forgot WWE SummerSlam is happening. I haven't watched the card. I am going to spoil myself, and I will talk about it later by just looking at the results as it happens. As they're updated to Wikipedia. I believe the first 2 matches have concluded. Perhaps by the time we look at it, the third match will have concluded. I'm probably going to watch it tomorrow with some friends. That seems to be the plan, is to do that there. All right, so this is really, really holding the glitter well, which is nice. Looking nice and sparkly. And so we will we'll get the legs done here. We'll do the underside, I guess, and then do the legs after that. So I'm not going to fully do the underside. I'm mostly going to do, just lightly. I'm going to lightly encase it here. We can open up these a little bit here to make things easier. But I do want to like hit it so we can see it from every angle. In our Twitter updates, we talk about Twitter when new things happen with Twitter. Several small things have happened at twitter.com. One of them is that your posts, we're posting now, folks. We're not tweeting anymore. Twitter is x.com, even though you go to twitter.com to log in. And when you hit the retweet button, it still says retweet or quote tweet. It doesn't say post or repost or quote post. But the big tweet button now, for most people, says post. Also, in a move that is brand specific and therefore probably a good idea, but makes the whole operation sound like pornography. When you go to Twitter Blue, if you want to buy Twitter Blue, well, it's not Twitter anymore, folks, right? It's X. So it's not Twitter Blue anymore. If you want to pay for a bunch of dumb bullshit that you don't need and the edit button, well, no, you're not subscribing to Twitter Blue anymore. You're subscribing to X Premium, which does sound like you're paying for pornography. You're paying for decent ? Pornography at X Premium. Now, the only thing more embarrassing than giving $8 a month to X Premium is the people who are earning money from X. Because it hadn't even occurred to me that it would show up in people's bank statements or their transfers that they're getting paid by X Corp. Which again, just embarrassing. Just embarrassing. I'm sure it looks very good on a credit card bill. The other thing to mention, I got you here and we're talking about it when it comes to Twitter X.com is, you've heard it before, that the person that owned X, the Twitter handle X, they got that changed on them. We're hearing more reports of accounts getting their names changed because the X Corp has decided that they want to use those handles, which I must make clear is their right. You do not own your name, a name, even my own name. Someone at X Corp could decide at any moment that Pat Baer is a cool sounding handle and they want to use it. They have every right to take it away. Now, doing that willy-nilly and then just changing it is a bummer and is not user-friendly by any stretch of imagination. And reminder that Twitter is user-driven, so you would think that they would go out of their way to try to keep users around, but that is clearly not the case with these folks. So, what does this mean? What happened? Well, @music got taken. Apparently, that was a 16-year-old account. It was someone's alt account about music, and X Corp decided they want to do something with @music, and so they were like, "It's ours now." What are they going to do with that? We don't know. My assumption is that that X Corp believes that a viable business model could be telling businesses, hey, oh, you're a music label? Oh, you're a music artist? Well, we have @music. And such and such amount of people follow @music. So for a fee, we will we will do paid reblogs, or sorry, not reposts. We'll do paid retweets, although it'll eventually be reposts, of your, music thing. So instead of you just having that reach, we'll do it officially. Now, is that exactly what they're going to do? I don't know. But it does feel like that's the only reason to just take someone's username. Like the idea that they're like, well, music, that sounds authoritative. XAI was the other account they recently took because they're like, oh, XAI is another company, so we want to make sure. It also, a reminder, it used to be that if you wanted someone's username, you had to pay them money, or if they were impersonating you, you could plead your case to Twitter. Now, if it's just like, well, that's not X Corp, but Elon Musk owns it, so we gotta steal this shit. We gotta take this stuff. And again, they are fully within their right at any point to do this. They can do it, and they are doing it. I don't think they should. Is again what my point is, that it does seem to be, it does have the feel of desperate and weird and not user friendly. And for a company that is hemorrhaging users, you'd think that they would want to not do that, but they are. They are consistently doing that, and it's bad. That's my only Twitter update. If there's anything else, you can let me know in the chat. But I think that I think that's it as far as updates need to be said here. Oh, let me do this top ring here. I haven't done this part. And then we'll be done with our fitter. We're going to have to let this dry. Hey, Dirty, welcome. We're going to have to let this dry, of course, before we continue on here. We'll have to let this dry before we can use it as the toilet seat that it richly deserves to be. And before I take those photos, I don't want to put Haro back in there. But yeah, this is our first paint job of the night. Just gonna move this around a little bit here. Use the dry brush. Great. So now our fitter is all glittered up. We can put that over there so we can look at it on occasion. All right, that went fairly smoothly, I will say. Let's take a look at the SummerSlam card. As I said, I have not been watching it tonight. I will probably watch it tomorrow. And it looks like we are currently in the MMA rules match, the fourth match of an 8-match card. Ronda Rousey versus Shayna Baszler. Bunch of matches that seemed cool got cut from this card so they could make room for the 25-man Battle Royale sponsored by Slim Jim. Slim Jim spent a lot of money to have a featured match on WWE. I believe that is one of the quote-unquote main event matches. There are 4 matches they were calling the main event. I believe that's one of them. Let's move on to the Hindry. This is the Hindry. We're going to be doing every part here that is the teal color. We're going to take this piece off because it makes my life easier. And we're just going to, we're going to work on all the teal parts. I'll remove the weapons here. Got the Hindry. And let me remove this. I gave up on playing AC6 at the end of this month so I could buy a Warhammer 40,000 kit. Okay. All right. Sometimes you gotta make sacrifices and you gotta do it. I understand. All right, so let's get to painting this kit. And again, we're going to do all the teal parts. This white part here, I don't think I'm going to paint because it's a sticker, and I don't think that's going to work out well. I think I would just end up, as I pulled this off, I think I would end up just getting paint on it. So I'm going to take off these as well, our boosters here. So our opening contest was Logan Paul versus Ricochet. Again, I didn't watch any of these matches yet. But Logan Paul won. And it's like, yeah, of course Logan Paul won. What are we talking about here? I didn't think Ricochet was going to win a match against Logan Paul. Like, nah, that probably wasn't going to happen. That would be unbelievably huge for Ricochet, but felt very unlikely considering that he's Ricochet and the other guy is Logan Paul, who reminder, I don't like, I think sucks, but also is a spot monkey and does fine work in the ring. It's frustrating, but it's true. He's a good professional wrestler, and that's very annoying for me to say, but it is a factual statement. It's a statement of fact. It's an annoying factual statement. But yeah, I'm sure that looked good. I heard there were some blown spots, and of course there would be, because nobody's perfect, including Ricochet. Just not a perfect wrestler. Doesn't ace it every time. So I'm sure that was a mess, but hopefully it was fun. And then I hope it's a long time before we see Logan Paul again. It's been nice that the build to that was on Raw, so I didn't have to see it because I don't watch Raw because I stream on Mondays. Cody Rhodes won his best of 3 with Brock Lesnar, defeating Brock Lesnar by pinfall. I heard he at one point put Brock's submission on Brock, which is very nice and fun. He finished the story. He 2 wins, 1 loss to Brock Lesnar, which is great. Good for Cody. I don't know if this means he's going to be in either title picture coming up. One would think that the build will start for WrestleMania. I don't think he's going to win the Rumble another time. He could win the Rumble again. I don't know. Rumble 2 years in a row would be interesting. But good for him. Glad he beat Brock. Also probably won't see Brock for a little while because of that, which is good for Brock, basically. I don't think it's good for wrestling, but it's good for Brock. But yeah, that sounds like one of those matches where I'm like, yeah, all right. I hope that was fun. I realized I should probably just take these arms off at the shoulder here. That would be better for working on this kit. It had not fully occurred to me that I could just chop and screw this kit to get at places easier. I will do that now, and I will do that in the future. I will disassemble some kits here to get at them better, and to possibly prevent getting glitter on parts I don't want them to be on. In this case, it's any brown part here I don't really want glitter on. It's okay if it does, but... And again, this will all come up. I can wash this surface and it'll look fine because that's what I did in April. So it will not be a problem. Let's see. What else we got? Hey, guess what? LA Knight won a thing. LA Knight won an inconsequential thing, but it's cool. LA Knight, the man that lost the Mountain Dew Lights Out match. Well, don't worry, because he won the sponsored by Slim Jim's 25-man Battle Royale. And then he survived. He won that by defeating Sheamus last. So it was down to him and Sheamus. And it's great that was LA Knight winning. Good for him. Let's see. There was Apollo Crews and JD McDonough, who I forgot got called up to the main roster. Rick Boogs Otis, Ivar, and then Eric. So the Viking Raiders were in there. Shinsuke Nakamura getting defeated or getting eliminated earlier than I would imagine. Getting back to surfing. Tommaso Ciampa. After that, Cameron Grimes, Austin Theory, who I forgot was even in that. Santos Escobar, Giovanni Vici, Ludwig Kaiser, Ridge Holland, Butch. They all got eliminated around the same time. That their rivalry will never cease. Matt Riddle, Omos, The Miz, Grayson Waller, Karrion Kross, Chad Gable, Bronson Reed, and AJ Styles. Sounds like at some point enough people ganged up to get Otis out. How can you eliminate Otis? He's so big. But apparently they found a way to eliminate Otis. Oh, I should have this under. Sorry. Trying to get a little more glitter. I have found that if you don't think there's enough glitter on there, you're wrong. And if you think there's enough glitter on there, you have put too much glitter on. Because some of this glitter doesn't show up until the paint dries. That's a pro tip for y'all out there. I have learned this lesson, and still, this kit's going to have so much fucking glitter on it because I keep adding more when it looks like there's not enough. If it looks like there's no glitter, well, then you probably need to get a little bit more on there. And we're going to do that here. We're going to put a little bit on the feet. Got to have a little bit of a glittery foot. Doesn't have to be super. But the feet should have a little bit of glitter. All right, we'll put that over there. Let that dry. I'm going to touch up the arm here. We'll get back into this. Let's see. Later, right now, Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler are fighting in an MMA rules match, which is just a wrestling match with more rules, basically. I don't know exactly what's going to happen in that match. Hey, Lord Crashington. Welcome, welcome. I imagine that Shayna Baszler will win because Ronda is going to take time off from wrestling. The rumor is that Ronda Rousey wants to get back into MMA, which seems like a mistake for her. Like a bad idea, but if that's what she wants to do, I guess she can go fuck up over there. And so my hope would be that she does not win and then disappear. And, Shayna gets the rub on that, the metaphorical rub by saying, well, I beat Ronda Rousey and set her ass packing. And then she can do cool shit. Give me Shayna Baszler versus, I don't know, Rhea Ripley again with babyface Shayna being like, you keep saying that no one can stand up to you and no one, everyone's going to back down. I won't back down. I think that'd be great. Less Ronda Rousey's good. Oh, Lord Crashington. Ronda Rousey going away for a while is wonderful for everyone. It's lovely. It's so great. It would be fantastic if she just took a extended fucking break from our lives. It'd be cool as hell. All right, we're going to let these parts dry here. I'll try to prop these up so they... There. We did the shoulders here, but I didn't do the rest of the arm. So let me do the inside of the arm here. Of this arm. I'm going to hold it by the hand. I'm going to apply some glitter paint. Later in the night, we've got Gunther defending his Intercontinental Championship against Drew McIntyre. And we've done this before. And I don't think we need to do it again. Look, I love Drew McIntyre. I think babyface Drew McIntyre is fun. I think heel Drew McIntyre is vicious and great. But Gunther is possibly... I think Gunther's going to keep winning because I think they're going to have him beat the Honky Tonk Man's record for the Intercontinental title, which is a lot of fucking a lot of days. And so I think that's where they're going to go. I think this is a one belt, maybe two belts. No, this is a two belt changing night because there's only 4 belts up for grabs tonight. And I think this is not the one that is changing hands. I don't think it's going to be this. I think it's going to be a later match. We also have Seth freaking Rollins. That's his name, unfortunately. That's his nickname is Freakin'. He's freaking. It's not even freaking with a P. It's freaking. Seth freaking Rollins is defending the World Heavyweight Championship against Finn Balor. And I think we're going to have two different champions tonight. One of the next two matches is going to have a cash-in and possibly a title change before that. Something's going to happen on one of these. They got to. I don't know which one. I could see. That's his Christian name. Yes, his Christian name. Yes. He chose it after Saint Freakin'. It's possible that Rollins just wins because they like having Rollins as champion. It would make a lot of sense for him to retain. Perhaps Finn loses, and then also there's shenanigans, and Finn does not let Damian Priest cash in, or things get confused because he's not out of the ring yet. Or it's possible that Finn Balor wins and still gets cashed in on. And then there's trouble in the Judgment Day. Or it could be that Seth Rollins wins, but he's injured, and then Finn Balor hits him afterwards, and Finn Balor sets up Damian Priest to cash in the Money in the Bank and win. That's also a possibility. It could go anywhere. I think Seth winning is probably the natural choice, just because I think it's more likely that a cash-in will happen immediately afterwards, or possibly it could go sooner. Asuka versus Charlotte versus Bianca Belair. Remember that Io Sky has the Money in the Bank briefcase. Also, the rumor mill is saying that Kairi Sane, formerly known as Kairi on the Indies and Stardom, that Kairi Sane has re-signed with WWE. Kairi was last seen in a tag team with Asuka. That could be Asuka's backup. Asuka's guaranteed victory could be having a friend, or she could be the newest member of Damage Control for some reason. Or, I don't know. Charlotte Flair single-handedly paid for her storyline to come back. We don't know. But we've got three women who are all very talented, who all could be world champs, and Io Sky. My guess, if I was a betting man, and I bet on professional wrestling, which is a mistake and no one should do it, but if I bet on professional wrestling, here's what I would say. I would say that Charlotte Flair pins Bianca or Asuka. Probably Bianca. Let's do Euro. Charlotte Flair steals one, becomes champion. After the match, somebody beats the shit out of Charlotte. The two of them together, one of the two, whatever. Charlotte gets beat up. Charlotte's really hurt. And then Io Sky cashes in on Charlotte and becomes champion. Because that way, we're working on the numbers. Eventually, we want Charlotte to have more wins than her dad did of world titles. So, that works. Charlotte gets to look smug that someone outsmarted her. She loves doing that. And it means that, we got two champs, two titles changing hands instead of one title. Or just changes twice. If I'm a betting man, that's how I bet, is that Io Sky leaves tonight as the WWE Women's Champion. Now, the main event. Roman Reigns with Paul Heyman and Solo Sikoa versus Jey Uso. The video package explaining what the tribal combat is, because that is the stipulation they're fighting under tonight, is tribal combat. The stipulation of tribal combat, I do not, it is basically just I think it's gotta end. There has to be a decision, and then anything goes, basically. The only rule is there has to be a winner. There's a video package they made that they played on SmackDown that they haven't put online yet, and I think you should seek it out. It will be online at some point. It is a story about tribal combat and Alpha and Sika, and talks about Yokozuna and The Rock and and shows everybody here. And it's really great and really well done. And there's a point where a bunch of these legends from the Anowani family are all done in like an art style that I would describe as Mortal Kombat cutscenes. It fucking rules. It's really good and a fun effect. And they make people look that it's real. I mean, WWE very good at their packages. I'll probably tweet it out because hopefully it'll be up. They didn't put it up because I think they wanted it to show it again tonight. But it's and they showed it a couple times, but it's really good. And I'll probably put that on my Twitter when the time comes because it's very, very good. All right, we've got 2 kits painted here. This is taking less time than I originally thought, which is fine. I'm going to hit, let's see, refresh. Okay, Shayna Baszler, update. Shayna Baszler defeated Ronda Rousey by technical submission. Hell yeah, Shayna, winning at SummerSlam, defeating your friend. You were supposed to be the heel in this, but everyone was like, no, you have a good point. We like you. So, I don't know where you go from here. Like I said, I hope it's Rhea Ripley. But that's the rules. Congratulations to Shayna Baszler. You have defeated Ronda. Beat Ronda. All right. Let's move on to the next kit. This is still drying. I will reassemble this kit here. I think I'm just going to reassemble it now and let it kind of dry up here together. And you know what? I'm going to keep this apart. I'm going to keep these apart and let it set a little bit more, and then I'll dry it after that. So let's keep going, and we're going to move on to, let's do the RX-782 entry grade kit. This is the entry grade here, so this is the American type. This is from Gundam Breaker Battlelog. This was the U.S. champion kit, which is fun. Various components here. We'll take the weapon out. These arms the shoulders don't easily separate, so we will take them out at the arm here instead. And we'll just kind of do our, can I clip this out? Yes, I can remove that. So we can clip those out like that. Yeah, because those otherwise don't easily come apart. We'll keep the chest and that together. And then we will separate the legs. Now, if I had planned this out, I would do this, let it dry, and then put on this sticker here. Obviously, that is not the case because that was not, I did not set out to do this. Oh, I should do this. It'd be a lot easier to pop that in like that. Yeah, that's fine. So we just separated this components to make it easier. I think I glitter this whole thing. I thought, like, in a perfect world, I would have the tools to just do the white here. There's a sticker, so I don't want to separate these two components. But I had thought about just doing it. I think I'm going to try not to hit the sticker, but I'm going to do every other part of this, because I think that'll just look good. I think it'll look fine on the blue. It might not even show well, but I think I'm going to do that. Yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm going to glitterize the whole thing. And I'm just going to try not to get it on the sticker, because that, I think, would look bad. But I can do that. But yeah, congratulations to Shayna Baszler for defeating Ronda Rousey. And then I don't know how long the Gunther match. Oh, that was only that was like 8 minutes. I bet the intros were long. Good. I imagine that wasn't going to get a lot of time. I don't have reports much. I have one report from Evo. Evo is happening right now. I have not been paying attention to it at all because I never pay attention to Evo because I don't particularly care about fighting games or fighting game competitions. But there is one cool bit of news for Killer Instinct fans. There's going to be an update this year for the 2013 Killer Instinct, which was, again, there was a definitive edition in 2016, but it is 10 years of Killer Instinct, of that version of Killer Instinct, and there's going to be a a 10th anniversary update this year free, including a balance update, improved matchmaking, and 4K support for Series X and S. That is being handled, I think, fully or at least partially by Iron Galaxy. I don't know if they're going to have support studios helping them out, but yeah, they're working on that, which I think is very cool for the fans. Improving matchmaking is always a positive, and having 4K support is very neat for people. I think that's great. I believe that is a $20 game right now, if I remember correctly. The definitive edition might be more. But yeah, that is neat for fans. Also, there is a guy who made a custom controller that is the size of his is tall. He has it strapped to his back to walk around with, and it is a very big, giant custom controller, because you can just use whatever controller you want there at Evo, and it looks wild, and apparently it works. It is a working controller, which is wild and nonsense, and I think very cool. That some man out there is walking around with a giant controller and actually using it to play, and people are like, wait, that's a real thing? And the answer is yes. So that's very fun. If you've heard anything about Evo that you think I should know about, feel free to let me know in chat, or you can tweet at me or mention it on the Discord. But I don't know. I thought that was pretty neat. If I had to say, I would say that is pretty cool. All right, what else we got? Let me talk about this. Strike update. Of course, we love and support the strike out here. We're out here, supporting all labor movements. Harold says that KI stuff is cool, but wake me up when Iron Galaxy makes an announcement of a new dive kick. Yeah, I don't know if dive kick 2 is ever going to be a thing. Maybe someday somebody will want to give them money to make dive kick. I just don't think it's a bet they're going to take on their own. Although that would be fun. But yeah. So yeah, we like and support strikes and worker movements here. We respect the hustle. We expect the drive. There was a meeting with the AMPTP. They finally came to the table with the Writers Guild since the strike was announced. They have not made any communication with them. Finally wanted to come to the table. There was supposedly going to be a press blackout. This was a sidebar discussion. This was not negotiations. Make this clear. They did not open for negotiations again. They wanted to have a confidential sidebar. Last week says 8-Bit Doe just announced a dive kick controller. Hell yeah. Well, there you go. There's your dive kick. It's a controller for dive kick. A dive and a kick. So they were like, there's going to be a press blackout. They couldn't talk. The AMPTP did put out a statement. Hey, Just Under Spicy, I'm doing all right. Thank you. Thanks for checking in. Basically, they leaked a bunch of stuff. They didn't put out a statement. They leaked a bunch of stuff about how, like, the guild wasn't cooperative and this wasn't a good meeting and all this other stuff because the Writers Guild is not talking to the press like that because they agreed to the blackout. They discussed potential negotiation protocol and a preview of the issues and all that. There's no agreement on anything. Harold, thank you. Appreciate that. Thank you for the bits. Appreciate that. Very kind to you. And they were like, hey, we're just going to send an email to people being like, hey, we had, we chatted about some stuff. Here's our update. There's not really an update. So apparently, before the meeting even happened, they fucked up so bad that they leaked a bunch of stuff. This is the AMPTP, leaked a bunch of stuff to the trades to basically, they wanted to run alongside the meeting, but they sent it out too early. So then people were asking for comments because instead of just running the story, they were like, well, let's see if anybody will make a statement from the Writers Guild about these things. So they just basically like leaked it even beforehand of this, supposedly confidential media blackout thing. They just leaked it, and it's very clear who leaked it. Like, it's very, very, very clear. Which is, awesome when you're not even negotiating and you haven't even started having the meeting about possible negotiations. So they're just like, okay, well, if the studios are going to leak, we'll also leak. And by leak, I mean tell you what's going on. Let's see. Thank you for the link, Lashbrook. Appreciate that. She stated, this is Carol, letting people know what's up, that the AMP is interested in talking about TV minimums, and they're interested in talking about AI, but they're not interested, and they're not going to budge on preservation of the writer's room or success-based residuals. Because why would they want to do that? It would be nice if they would even bother to negotiate about those things, but they're not interested in negotiating the things. One of the main reasons why the strike is happening is the eradication of writers' rooms and the basically hiding all information possible and then deciding to cancel your own shows rather than pay residuals on them. The stuff that's being struck over. And they're basically like, no, that stuff's going to be in the new contracts. Healthcare benefit extensions is something they're interested in looking at. Reinstatement of writers, arbitration, lots of stuff. Basically, it's like, no, but also we want to talk about these things too. And her basic statement, which is what they've always said, people just want to get back to work. Like, that's basically the AMPTP is basically saying, well, we all just want to get back to work, so why are you being like? They're just like basically they're like, hey, we could all go back to work if you weren't being so selfish. That's basically their thoughts, which of course is ludicrous and nonsense. But you can't go back to work if there's no work because you're reducing the amount of work that exists and the ability for people who are working to earn a living, to make a living at all, to survive. So that's, the strike is happening in a large part because you are making it very difficult for people to work at all in any context or to continue to work. Yeah, that's basically it. So you will see spin, you will see people reporting, from sources. When you hear from sources, those sources are, of course, from or to the very least, should be questions. If you read statements about actors, writers who are against the strike, read the actual articles and the quotes, because the quotes will be taken out of context. Stephen Amell, that was not out of context. That guy's a fucking idiot in general, and specifically about this strike. Yeah, no. That's a guy that at a convention said a bunch of dumb bullshit and then was like, I wish people didn't report on the dumb bullshit that I said at this convention that I also shouldn't have been at. Jamie Lee Curtis, the articles written about her and the statement she has made, the subject and quotes make it sound like she's like neutral. She is not neutral. She's not neutral at all. She's just reiterated the point that sounds neutral, which is like, I wish this could be settled. Like, that's basically her thing, is like, yeah, I wish this strike was over. Which every fucking person in SAG and AFTRA and the WGA all want the strike to be over. No one wants to be out of work. No one wants to fucking picket across the country. Nobody wants this shit at all. That's not a neutral stance, even though it is being, particularly in her case, being highlighted as somehow a neutral stance, that she's apparently like, both sidesing it. But yeah, I mean, there were going to be people who are stupid, but generally, the people who are very dumb about this are the people who scab. Scabs are always going to be scabs. Now, there are scabs who cross the picket line, who are union and try to find any workaround they can. There are people who get waivers, like A24 has waivers. They have negotiated in good faith. They are not part of the bigger system. They are making their own deals and trying to exist as a company. So that is cool. If a production is an A4 production, then it's totally fine. If you see an ad for Gran Turismo, where a bunch of audience members are talking about how much fun they had at Gran Turismo, or Turismo, that's scab work. They're not in the union. They didn't cross a picket line, but these people are being paid in some way, shape, or form to promote a movie that is a struck movie. So if you see that ad of random ass people, so I believe that I hate this. I hate that I'm doing this. I think Mr. Beast had a waiver. I think the update was that Mr. Beast had a waiver. I'm 75% sure that actually Mr. Beast had a waiver and it's not struck work. Don't quote me on that, but it looked like last update that was the case. But I can tell you that those audience members, even if they didn't get paid, they are still promoting a movie that is struck work, and that sucks. And also, it's a bad ad. It doesn't sell me on the movie. That these random ass people are like, yeah, shit's great. Oh, it's so fun. I'm like, I don't believe you at all, because you do not sound believable, because you are just random ass people. You are. I saw the movie and I never noticed his random ass character. He probably should have said that instead of the BS he did to try to explain it away. Yes. Also, reminder that people are like, there are a few movies out there that had press tours that started and ended during, like, they did press tours early and it ended during the strike. And those people put up, some studios have put up disclaimers to protect their actors from issues and to protect their own studio from issues, saying like recorded pre-strike. Like, I've seen a few of those ads out there that have that, and I think that's like, I'd prefer it didn't exist, but at least you get that kind of connotation, so you're not like, as a performer, it's nice because that way you're not like getting inundated with people being like, hey, what the fuck. Speaking of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the movie, which I have not seen and I have no comment on as far as its quality, because I have not seen it, because I'm not going to the movie theaters. They put up the entire first 5 episodes of the 1987 cartoon on the official YouTube channel of the first season of the 1987 cartoon. That's fun. I think there's probably a lot of ways to watch that, possibly with ads on like Tubi or whatever. But it's fun that's on YouTube, especially if you pay YouTube Premium so you don't see ads. That sounds like actually a great way to watch the 87 cartoon. But yeah, I have no comment on Ninja Turtles per se, because I have not watched it. they got the rights to first cartoon to put up anywhere they can. Yeah. Good on them. But yeah, so that's just like, there's our strike update. It's still happening. There have not been negotiations. There was a meeting to have negotiations, which of course got leaked about stuff to make it seem like the writers are just being babies and stopping people. You will see opinion pieces. It's all a fucking pattern. You'll see opinion pieces about how the strike is putting all of these people out of work. And that article may or may not, and probably won't, mention the various strike funds, which also support those affected outside of it. Any person who has even the hint of being like, I don't know about strikes, they will be all over the press and they will be reported wherever they can because they need it. They need it. Directors who didn't want the directors to strike, directors who were opposed to the writer's strike, who are also fucking writers, but because they're directors, they feel like they can get away with saying that shit. You will see all of that. That is part of the game plans that they have. They'll be like, oh, well, the writer's strike ruined the Tonys. And you're like, okay. No, the fucking studios ruined it by not negotiating in good faith and then not trying to come to the negotiation table for 3 fucking months. Like, no, they're just waiting things out and waiting for people to die. Like, cool. So yeah, you'll hear all these tactics. The playbook is obvious. It's been the same way for many, many years. And it does just pump people up. And these attempts do, in fact, radicalize people towards wanting to continue the strike. Because they realize what these bosses think of them. And it's getting their tech bros and finance bros to look at the numbers makes them very happy, and they'd rather have that than continued and future success, which is a fucking bummer. It's a big old bummer. Anyway, we are done with 3 of our 4 kits. We still have assembly to do after we let some of this dry. And we got to do some posing, and then we might do a 5th kit, depending on the time. We might do this heavy arms, but I don't think we're going to do it, because I don't really need this heavy arms to be glittery. This was the heavy arms from the Eagle unit. It's really just a regular heavy arms. It had a bigger gun, and it had extra stuff. The extra stuff that was on this kit is now on my other heavy arms over there. And so these are the Endless Waltz rocket things that I just put on the side, because this kit is going to sit on the turlet, which we can look at now, because this should be dry enough for photography. But yes, the Haro Pla thing does look like a toilet. And now we have a glittery toilet for a master grade. It's a toilet for master grade, and you can see here on the side. This does look like a goddamn toilet, and that rules. And you can see it here as well on an angle. Now I got a glittery toilet. That completely and utterly rules. It kicks a lot of ass. I love it very much. We'll take a photo of that in a minute or two. And then we'll also show, yes, it's a glitter shitter. And then we'll also put Harapla back on it to take a proper Haro photo as well. But we still have one more kit to do. I'm going to take this off just because I don't want it to... It's still a little sticky, so we'll just put that in there for now. Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to glitterize this. I haven't made the call yet. What's going to happen now is a pause for the cause. I'll probably do this pretty brief because we're a little light tonight as far as viewership goes. Understandable. It's okay. There's a lot going on tonight. We got Evo. We got wrestling of all kinds. We got there's a boxing thing, the usual. Some fun boxing nonsense is happening. Is this happening here? Yes, I believe there is a... some friends of mine are doing a cool stream, and we're going to raid that later. I believe. We'll go raid a cool stream. I believe they started up again with that. Yeah, it looks like we're yeah, Umpuka was doing a cool thing with Rara, so we'll probably raid that later. But yeah, what's going to happen right now is I'm going to take a pause for the cause. I'm going to talk about ways you can support the channel. Akito, welcome. Everything I'm going to say here is optional. You don't have to do any of these things, but if you would like to, that would be rad. I'm going to try to brush my hands off a little bit here. It did not occur to me that I'm going to take my meds in a couple minutes, and going to have glitter in my hands. I might eat a little bit of glitter. That did not occur to me until now, and I don't like the sound of that. Maybe I'll use... Well, both my hands have glitter on it. Whatever. A little glitter isn't going to kill me. He says... Don't clip that. If I pass away, don't clip that, okay? That's the only thing I'll say. Or do. Actually, you know what? Do. You'll know... Yeah, the glitter... Hey, guess what? That glitter's going to get out of there somehow. Hi-yo. This is a pause for the cause. This is my opportunity to talk to you about ways you can support the channel if you're so inclined. It's not obligated, inclined. You're not obligated. First and foremost, let's throw the Bear Cave, the Lego of the site, the tier 2 blue emote in the chat. If you are currently a subscriber, reply with those emotes. If you're not yet a subscriber, you can say hi. You know, there you can just become one. Cash money, $5. You saw that Harold and Ghost Valve both renewed their subs tonight, which is very kind. You could use your Prime Gaming token. You have Amazon linked with your Twitch. You get that token. Use it for me. Throttle Bottom says, I made it through many years of child-based glitter infection. Well, great. Also, you could gift a sub. You might not know this, friends, but nobody has gifted a sub. It's only a couple days into the month, but we've had no gift subs this month. So you could join the gift sub leaderboard and get to the top. You could gift a sub to somebody in the community if you wanted to. So they got cool emotes. They didn't see pre-roll ads. It's nice. You could do that. You have that power. You could also, if you would like, do a cheer. Get some bits going here. Because Harold cheered 100 bits, which was very kind of him. Top of the bits leaderboard. Very nice. There are other ways to support what I do here. I'm going to do this real quick here. You could join my Patreon at patreon.com/PatBaer. There's a $1, $3, $5, and $10 tier. There are different rewards for the different tiers. It seems like they got their money shit figured out. I only had one person who got declined, and they have not fixed it, but whatever. But they had some money issues. They moved. Their payments now come out of Dublin instead of California, which probably saves them a bunch of money on taxes, but was weird for banks that were like, what? What's happening? So it affected a lot of patrons. A insignificant amount of patrons. That wasn't fun. But yeah, there are different tiers. There are different rewards. Take a look. See if there's something there you like. I have a YouTube channel, youtube.com/PatBaer. Over on my YouTube, subscribing is free, and I would love it if you subbed. But while you're there, you could also become a member. And for $2 a month, you get my Wednesday videos a day early. That's fun. That's the thing you could do there. Lord Crashington did clip, which we appreciate. Thanks, Lord Crashington. I'll check that out later. Not now. Got stuff going on now. You could also make a one-time donation, because those things are ways to support me on a monthly basis. Not everybody fucking wants to do that, I understand. But what about a one-time donation? Through PayPal or Stream Elements or Coffee. And everything I make through direct donations, like I just said there, YouTube, which includes AdSense, so watching my videos helps me out, Patreon, or Twitch. It goes into a fund, and I buy model kits. Every one of these kits... I'm 99% sure that I bought all of these kits. Yeah, the Hind Tree might have been bought. by somebody else. So my apologies, I don't remember. But I'm pretty sure at least 3 of the 4, I can say 3 of the 4 of these kits I bought with my own money, and one might be bought off my wish list. But I take the money and I buy kits. The next kit I'm going to be building, the Gundam Rose, I was able to purchase that kit due to the fine folks out there who were able to help me out on a monthly basis. Speaking of a wish list, Amazon's still kind of fucked. If you go to my Amazon wish list and you try to buy something from my wish list, there is a chance that it won't let you because they're having issues with third parties' objects being in stock. Like Amazon's had trouble with their wish list for a little while. Like I still can't manually move stuff in my wish list. I can add stuff and delete stuff, but I can't move stuff off of it. So if it says Prime, you should be okay to buy something from there. If it says free shipping or Prime shipping, it might Prime free shipping, which is different from Prime. It might not be purchasable off my wish list. Amazon's got to figure their shit out as soon as possible because it's negatively affecting me. But yeah, there's a bunch of kits there you could buy. Hopefully, I don't know. I will say there's some gear I did purchase yesterday off my wish list. I just bought it myself. I bought a new controller because I wanted a new controller badly. Because my old controller, the drift, both sticks were now drifting, and one of the triggers was sticking. And I was like, you know what? I could take this apart, and I did, and I cleaned it, but I could not get to the I couldn't get to the sticks. I couldn't the board, the one board in there, the PCB was glued into the controller. So it's not something that I could fully take apart, which sucks. Anyway, I can bought myself a new controller. For Tuesday's stream, I'll be good for Persona 4 Golden with mods. Anyway, a wish list that isn't fucked up in any way, and you can go look at, is my Throne wish list. And hey, bonus about my Throne wish list, I have surprise presents turned on. Surprise gifts. So you could buy something there that I wouldn't know you'd bought it until it arrives. Which is weird. It's a weird thing to say, but that's true. Also, USA Gundam Store, the most convoluted way to support me is to buy a gift card at USA Gundam Store and then send me a whisper here on Twitch or a DM on Twitter, because my DMs are still open somehow. They haven't made open DMs something that you have to pay money for, so I still have that. With your gift card code, and I'll use it and buy something there. Anything that is purchased off my Amazon wish list, my Throne wish list, or USA Gundam Store via gift card is something that jumps the queue and becomes the next thing that I build. So take a look, see if there's something there you'd like to see me build on stream, and I'll do that as soon as I possibly can. I don't interrupt the kits I'm working on, but as soon as the kit that I'm working on is done, then I go into the wish list instead of my backlog. You can join my Discord. My Discord is a free thing. If you want to just hang out over in the Discord, you're more than welcome to come hang out there. It's full of lovely people. That's a way to support me for free, is join my Discord. A couple of video links for you to check out. Pat Bear's Anime Club. I made a video about the worst dub of Dragon Ball. And you're like, Pat, I've watched the bad Dragon Ball dub. No, you've watched a bad Dragon Ball dub. You have not watched the worst one, which is the Harmony Gold dub, where they changed almost everyone's names. Not Master Roshi for some reason, but they changed Goku's name and Grandpa Gohan's name and Bulma's name and everybody's fucking name. It's very bad. It's terrible, and I talk about it and how it was discovered. The Lost Dub, it was called for many years, the Harmony Gold, aka the Lost Dub or the Zero Dub, and how it was found and uploaded, and I talk about the history of that. And I try not to say anything that is litigious because Harmony Gold still exists as a company. And then Baerly Rehearsed. This Baerly Rehearsed, God, why can't I remember what this one is? I'm going to look at it. This one is based on a real place that I went to in the mall. I went to a repair shop in the mall, and it got me thinking. And then I used a real prop that I have in this house, but I'm waiting to use. It's a quick one, quick little character piece about the guy, the world's last VCR repairman. It was not a VCR shop, but I'm going to peek behind the curtain. It was not an actual VCR repair shop, but it was an electronics repair shop that was empty, and sitting on the counter was a VCR that this guy was working on. And I walked by it, and as someone walked into the store, as I was walking by this not a kiosk, it's an actual store at the mall, somebody walked in, and the VCR repairman, without looking up, said, "You want Burger King's actually next door." And the person turned around and walked out of the store because they did indeed want to go to Burger King. And I watched that transaction happen and went, I'm going to write a character piece based on this event. And then I did 2.5 weeks later. You're welcome. It's a quick little video. Watch it. I thought it turned out pretty good. I don't know. I'm not a good judge. I know the ones I like, but I understand that sometimes I like things that other people don't like. Because comedy is fucking super subjective. Anyway, we got to talk about some anime. I need to take pills and hopefully not eat any glitter. But we'll find out if that... you won't find out. I'm going to try to avoid that. And then we're going to talk about 2 anime shows while I paint our last kit. Death Scythe. The Death Scythe. And we'll get to that, and we'll go back to the overhead here in just a moment, dramatically, right now. We got new glasses. It's not the blue glass that I normally drink out of. It's a nice clear glass that's painted, and I think these glasses are nice. Dirty wants me to ring the bell. Here is the bell. Thank you for using your channel points for me to ring that bell. Ring the bell. All right. So, Death Scythe. We're going to do the white parts here. We are going to do the clear scythe pieces. We'll do the red of this. We're not going to do the dark blue pieces. That doesn't make any sense. Don't make no sense. Is this going to be easy to get at some of these white parts? No. We'll use the small little brush. We'll do our best. We also need to talk about anime. We got 2 episodes here. We've got Saint Cecilia and Pastor Lawrence and Undead Murder Farce. 2 pretty okay episodes. Just try to get this, figure out how to... I don't remember exactly how to disconnect the legs here. Okay, goes like that. And we'll disconnect the legs. Maybe we can hit the gray with a little glitter too on this part here. I don't know yet. But I don't think the glitter is going to look good on our dark blue. So we probably won't hit that. There's no good way to take the... Yeah, that's going to require a lot of work, which I'm not ready to do. And then we'll assemble some parts here and pose and take some photos. If we end a little early tonight, we'll end a little early tonight because I'm not going to start the Gundam Rose because I got to clean my whole zone up. And, so that's just not going to work. That doesn't work for me, brother. As a wise wrestler once said. So we'll just apply that. And let me tell you about some anime. Let me talk to you about some anime. Did this get really dried out? All right, I got to apply more. I got to apply more paint, which is fine because I'm throwing this paint away at the end of the stream anyway because I'm going to be done with it. I might say, you know what? I'm probably going to save it. I'm going to try to save a little bit of it because that way I can touch up anything that needs touching up on any of these kits. But this will be the last time I use it on stream, is what I should say. All right. Just get... Okay. Again, for those that might be wondering, here's the bottle. Delta Creative, Cremacoat, Ceramacoat, I guess. Ceramacoat, Glitter Explosion. 2 fluid ounces, like $5 when I bought this. Might be more now. Got it on Amazon. It had lots of 5-star reviews and some positive thoughts. People were happy with it, so I went with it because it seemed like people liked it, and that was enough for me. This episode of Saint Cecilia and Pastor Lawrence, if you haven't been watching this, this is a slice of life romantic comedy about in a fantasy world here, mildly fantasy, European kind of, British nonsense thing. Pastor Lawrence is the caretaker. We learned in this episode of Saint Cecilia, there are very few lady saints. Most saints are men, apparently, but they are people imbued with holy powers. And pastors are generally their guardians. Kind of learn a little bit more about that. And we know how they met, but now we're kind of learning a little bit about those rules. So we have also Lawrence and Cecilia both are in love with each other, but they seem to be the only ones to not realize that. But yeah, they're definitely in love with each other. And they have a lovely relationship. And there's also Abel. Abel grew up with Lawrence. He is kind of a new character. He is helping out, but also skirting his responsibilities, which means we also have the introduction of, what's her name? Hazelita. Hazelita showed up in the last episode. Hazelita helped out Cecilia when she was about to fall. She was about to take a header, and she got rescued, which is nice. And we learn that she is from that hometown as well, and has arrived because Abel ducked out on his home tutor responsibilities. And so she's come to, I guess, collect them. Also, she wanted to meet the saints. And we learn later in the episode that she was the friend of a saint who died because everyone treated her like she was like next to God, so they didn't think that her illness needed treatment. It's like, well, what can we do that's better? Like, what do you mean treatments? The idea that like, oh, if it's a heal, it's a someone with close powers and connection to God, they don't need, medicine, which led to their demise because apparently in this world, a lot of these saints, the pastors that are their handlers, are just in it for glory or fame, and they don't treat them like friends. They treat them like tools. So our girl is particularly harsh on a lot of those people. So she's a little harsh on Lawrence at first. She doesn't quite trust Lawrence. Let's see. They meet. They make a flower crown. That's fun. She wanted to meet the saints, and so they meet. Cecilia says, "Lady saints, like herself, are the easiest to meet since they blend in with the lives of ordinary citizens, whereas some of the men are a little bit more flashy, I guess. But she's like less flashy, so it's a little easier to meet them because they kind of blend in a bit better." Getting glitter all over the place here. We'll put a dab on here as well. That's fun. So that's done. This is done. Can I get this arm? If it doesn't look great, it doesn't look great. I think it'll look fine. Let's see. So what else happens in this episode? Talked about that. How much cleaning would the board need before Monday stream? A bit. So, I'm going to use an old rag because we got rags and stuff. An old rag and some water and some elbow grease will clean this up very easily because this paint is water soluble. So once it dries, it's fine. But once it's still in this kind of wet, gloopy condition, even a wet paper towel will take off most of this, and then I can scratch away a lot. Because this kind of surface area here is this is for cutting things. This is for using X-Acto blade. Like, it heals pretty well. It can take a beating in a lot of ways. And if it gets stuck to it and I can't remove it, I can always flip it over and use the other side. Or there's just a little glitter on there. So this will not take long at all to clean up before Monday stream. There might be a little bit of glitter there. It's more likely that like, oh, my tools are protected because they're all away because I'm not building anything. Like my mouse might end up having some glitter on it. My fear is the table will actually be a bummer. If any glitter gets on this table, that's actually going to suck because that's going to be harder to clean up. But that'll just more annoy me than any of you. You won't see the table. So, because I am the table. All right, where's the other arm? Here's the other arm. Okay, so there's a whole thing where Hazeletta is like, oh, it's so weird to have like a girl living with a guy. Like, oh, that's so strange, like alone and nobody else around. And they're like, that's not weird. What? And you're like, oh, okay. Y'all don't get it. Okay, sure. I think Hazel is a fine addition to the cast here. And Lawrence and Hazeletta have a chat, and she's like, "Oh no, you gotta understand. Like, I treasure her. I'm gonna look out for her. I'm not like those other guys. He's not like those other pastors. He's gonna treat her right. Is basically what he says, which is true because they're very much in love. So it is not a business arrangement. And she comes around on that. And Hazeletta tells Abel that she misunderstood Lawrence and finds he's a hard worker despite him being dense, which is true. But, they're dense or naive, either one. But yeah, the classic story. Characters that are in love with each other and don't realize it because for the plot to work, they need to be in the dark about their own feelings for as long as possible. Because then you got the honeymoon period and then you're kind of at a story. So at some point, they gotta figure it out, but they can't start figuring it out if it's a will they, won't they. You gotta have the will they, won't they for a while if you're doing it. All right, that's done there. This should be a pretty quick kit to do because I'm just doing the white parts here. Okay. Undead Murder Farce. It's going to be easier for me to talk about because it's mostly characters having conversations with one another, and I'm not going to get into those. The basic idea is we finished up the vampire storyline, so now we're in the next storyline. The plan is that our main characters, Suguru and Rindo, they got hired to figure out a scheme. There's a heist that's going to happen. A master thief is going to try to steal a diamond, a big diamond. They need to prevent a break-in that is aimed a black diamond called the Penultimate Night. But it turns out more people than just the usual are going to try to steal this. Because they have been told ahead of time that the great Lupin is going to, Lupin the First is going to steal, right? So we already know there's Lupin. And we've heard that Sherlock Holmes is in this world. But yeah, Lupin the Great Master Thief is going to steal this gem. But there's more characters. Hey, I talked about this. There's lots of stuff here. Characters that are not within copyright are here. There's two other characters that introduce. Also, most likely, the guy that they're really chasing, Moriarty, is also interested in stealing this diamond, so they might see him, and he's got some kind of monsters that work for him. The person that hired them is Phileas Fogg. Now, you may know. Hey, welcome, Artistic Biologist. Thanks for the follow. Great username. Welcome. We're painting with glitter paint. We're painting a bunch of kits that I've had for a while with some glitter paint to make them look fabulous and cool. And I'm talking about an anime called Undead Murder Farce, which is the story of a half demon or oni. Hello. a half demon who is partnered up with an immortal woman whose body is missing, so it's just her head in a birdcage. And they are solving mysteries as they try to find the man who turned him into half demon and chopped off her head. So they have a common enemy, who is probably Moriarty. And in this episode, the main character of Jules Verne's Around the World in 80 Days, that's who Phileas Fogg is. Phileas Fogg is the main character in Around the World in 80 Days, and he is the guy in this episode who's like, Lupin is going to try to steal my... It's Lupin. Lupin is going to try to steal my diamond, and I need you to stop him. Prevent this heist. And also, half demon and lady who's just a head in a birdcage, I need you to work with some security agents from Royce Insurance, and of course, Sherlock Holmes. So this episode's setting up the next arc, which will probably be about 4 episodes, is Lupin the First is going to try to steal this diamond, apparently, and trying to stop him is Sherlock Holmes and our main characters. I thought they were going to wait on the Sherlock Holmes thing. They did not wait on Sherlock Holmes. Sherlock Holmes is here now. The other thing, I said there were 2 new characters introduced from fiction besides Sherlock Holmes who had been mentioned before. Let me tell you about the other one. I think I've actually heard of that one. It's a hell of a name. Yes, so the anime is called Undead Murder Farce. The manga, or the light novel, I believe, I don't know if there's a manga, there's a light novel, is called Undead Girl Murder Farce. But they took the girl out. 1, because she's a grown woman. And 2, because, I don't know, they just thought it would sound better. But, Lupin is not working alone. And most of this episode is Lupin and his partner talking about their plans and basically doing the Ocean's 11 of hey, the Ocean's movies of hey, here's how we're gonna do it, which is obviously pulled from these kind of pieces as well. His partner is named Eric. He's the Phantom of the Opera. This anime has the Phantom of the Opera in it too. In a world where Dracula is dead, because we found that out in previous episodes when they were dealing with vampires, that Dracula has been murdered, and vampires are trying to integrate into human society. So a half demon and a headless, just the head of a woman, an immortal woman, and their maid, are teaming with Sherlock Holmes to stop Lupin and the Phantom of the Opera from stealing a diamond from the main character of Around the World in 80 Days. I love this fucking anime so much. It is. Artistic says, Biologist says, I just got done building the Elfrith from Gundam Elfrith. I have both of the models you're working on, by the way. Nice. It is. So, because people say wait, I thought some of that stuff was under, wasn't in public domain. The stories are not public domain, right? You can't do Hound of the Baskervilles. Maybe. You might be able to do that one. I can't remember. That was the whole thing, right? Lupin the Third can't really be the anime character. Lupin the Third can't really be Lupin's grandson because of copyright for a long time. Sherlock Holmes is. Some Sherlock Holmes stories, I think, just came out of it, but for a while there, you couldn't recreate Sherlock Holmes stories without paying a fee or a license, but you could use the characters. Just like right now, the characters from Winnie the Pooh you can make a thing of. The stories of Christopher Robin you can't yet. Those are still outside the public domain. So yeah. Undead Girl Murder Farce, or Undead Murder Farce as the anime is called, is very fun and weird. and I've really enjoyed it. There's a lot of action in the first episode, and there's a bunch of action in the most recent one, not this one, but the one before. But there are some episodes that are just like a lot of talking and setting up. So like, I don't know if you, the audience, I don't know if you would be super interested in watching every episode weekly, right? Like this episode was a lot of setup, and like I said, it was a lot of like, um, okay, we're gonna learn a lot about Eric, the fan of the opera, right, and what his secrets are and what his connections to various characters are going to be. We're going to learn about that. It's not necessarily going to be a lot of action in this episode, but last episode had our half demon fight a vampire, and that was pretty cool, and it was great because it was very one-sided and pretty fun. So like that was pretty neat. And that might be more, like, so maybe this is a show that you want to marathon, a couple episodes in a row and maybe not watch weekly. It's up to you. We support the public domain in my house. We mostly listen to public domain jazz. Yeah, heck yeah. But yeah, we always support the public domain around these parts as well. The other hind tree is cool looking. Yes, I have the hind tree. That is another kit that we worked on here. The 4 kits that that I've built in the past here, we have the hind tree. We have the RX-782 American type, the entry grade that was from Gundam Breaker Battlelog. We have the 2019 or 2020, I forget, my apologies. The last new version of the Death Scythe high grade, and we have the Haro fitter, the Haropla fitter. We only did the fitter. We didn't do Haro because I actually want this for posing, for particular poses here. And we have now done the Death Scythe. The question is, oh, nice. Yes, this is the Haropla. I've built several Haropla. I love this one because it has arms, but we didn't put the arms on. We'll put the arms back on. We didn't do the arms. I like this one because it's a cool, fun vibe to it. The Haropla kits are a good time. The Bulldozer one is also fun. Nice. Your first stream was building a Death Scythe. We love Death Scythes on here. Any opportunity to build a Death Scythe. I just did, it's on display back here, but it's a little hard to see. I just did the Death Scythe Hell, the premium Bandai Death Scythe Hell, which was the Live Lance Heaven mold, because I love building Death Scythes on the stream. And of course I wanted to paint a Death Scythe. But yes, this is that Hara, and you can take the head off there. We keep it because, as I've said on this stream already, but not to be a broken record, the reason why we picked this one is because you can set it up and put a master grade on it, and it becomes a toilet. On its side, it looks like a toilet for a master grade. I did not make this discovery. I saw this when I was... so actually, somebody tweeted at me, a year and change ago when I bought this kit, going, you can put a master grade on it, and it looks like a toilet. And I was like, oh... Yes, I need to own this and then do that. Vicky says, I used to dislike the lore that Haro was a pre-existing toy, Amuro simply modified, but actually now really like the idea that Amuro essentially jailbroke a Furby and gave it hands. Yes, that is fun that he's just like, oh yeah, I didn't build this from scratch, I just made it better. I think that's great. That is a fun bit of canon. I agree with you. So yeah, I had to build a toilet for this kit. I have now decided I am not painting this heavy arms. I don't think a heavy arms needs glitter. I think this heavy arms with the endless waltz side rockets, because the Eagle unit, this is the Eagle unit, all those bonus parts are on that, which you can see better here. You can see over there. I made the ultimate heavy arms by taking the bonus stuff from the Eagle unit and throwing it on that heavy arms, the Endless Waltz heavy arms, to make the ultimate heavy arms. I used to be a heavy arms main in the Wing fighting game. Hell yeah. And then, of course, I've got the Death Scythe here. And these two kits here do have glitter. Those are the first ones. Because I thought the Farcia should have had glittered in the first place because it's beautiful pink, lovely kit with its own gorgeous stand, unique stand. Uh, and then yeah, then I got the God Gundam and all of that over there. We'll go back to the main here. Yes, my box art wall is these are all just box tops with painter's tape to make a set of some sort. I just did for a while and then eventually just did enough of them, put enough up there. They are not just boxes, they are just the box fronts because that was a lot easier. For a little while there, I was just stacking boxes and then they would fall over and that didn't work. That didn't make any sense. So yeah, and it's just painter's tape, so it'll come down pretty easy. But yeah, I tried to just have the boxes because I wanted it to be like a 3D look, and I was like, that's not going to read as 3D. And it didn't read as 3D. Anyway, I'm not going to paint this. Let's assemble our kits here. We'll get them together. We'll keep this like this for photographs here because I got to photograph everything. But we'll start with the hind tree because that should be the most dry of this. But we'll now just get back to assembly. This was just a one-off stream. I had this paint. I wanted to use this paint up, this glitter paint. I wanted to use it because I used it in April, and I knew it wasn't going to last forever. So I decided that I would do this stream. And then I'm just going to have to clean this surface up for Monday. Again, my stream on Monday will be the Gundam Rose, because I don't think anyone's bought anything from my Amazon wishlist. But if something comes in the mail for me on Sunday, tomorrow, or Monday, if I get something in the mail, whatever that is becomes the thing I will build next, because that's how that works. But most likely, I'm going to build the Premium Bandai Gundam Rose kit because I want to build that kit because they made a new G Gundam kit that isn't the God Gundam, which is wild that exists. And yes, they made the burning Gundam. They made the burning Gundam for Gundam Breaker Battlelog, but that's not really a G Gundam kit. Death Army, yeah. Yes, they did. You're right. They did put the Death Army grunt out not too long ago. You are correct. But and you're right. They did do that, and which was also wild. It was also wild. But the idea that the Gundam Rose exists, like a new Gundam Rose, that to me is just so strange. When are we going to get the HG Dragon Gundam kit? That would be awesome. I would like that. Yeah, I think the Gundam Rose is great, and there's a lot of clear parts in the kit. There's a lot of clear effect parts, I should say, and that's always nice. And the beams are this blue. I already took the beams out. The beams are this blue that looks fantastic. It's clear blue. I'm excited to work on that kit. That's going to be a good time. All right, we got the Hindry all glittered up. That looks rad as hell. I actually think this looks very good. I've been thinking about glitterizing this kit for a while, and I'm very excited about how that turned out. I think that turned out great. Of course, Haru is also looking good. Pop that in there. And then pop these up. Yeah. Haru's looking good. All right, let's get the American type, the RX-782 American type from Gundam Breaker Battlelog, which is just, I believe this is a Target exclusive. It is just the RX-782. It's just the RX-782, but it is glitterized in this case. What I really want is a modern Nobel. Oh, yeah. You know what? Yes, it was the Build Fighter version of the Death Army. Yes, Lashbrook. Yeah, for real. I would also very much enjoy a new version of the Nobel Gundam. I think that would be a premium idea. That could be very good. I think that would, oh God. Ah, shit. Yes, this is the Target exclusive. I said premium. I've been watching this YouTube channel about these, I think they're Oregon-based dudes that build, their YouTube channel says plumbing company, but they build weird, like, 4x4s and stuff. And one of their guys calls everything premium, and then they all started calling everything premium. And now I just said that because I watched too many of their videos, which is my mistake. Oh, God. I said it without even thinking about it. I got to be careful. That's how I started saying the phrase "get in the bin," because I was watching too much British YouTubers who talk about wrestling, and they say the phrase "get in the bin" all the time. And that's how I started saying "get in the bin," which is not a phrase that most of my people in my life know. Oh yeah, true. But yes, to go back to the Nobel Gundam, just want to say the Nobel Gundam. I would love to build a modern Nobel. I think that would be great. That would be cool. That old Nobel is a fine enough kit. I think it's totally serviceable as a kit, but it's a little hard to find these days because people know it because it's a Sailor Scout like bottle kit. So a bunch of people buy it, you know. It's got good sailor vibes, so people are into that kit. All right, let's get the desk scythe here is a little tacky. It's not fully dry because I did it last here. So we'll get this together even though it is coming off a little bit here. I might just touch up this leg here because, this is a little tacky. I probably should give this more time. I'm not gonna. I started saying hella unironically because I played Life is Strange. Yeah, that happens, right? Yeah, we picked that stuff up. Get in the bin is at least a good phrase. I like that instead of like saying bin instead of trash can. I like saying get in the bin. I think it's fun. People eventually get the meaning. But I don't want to call things premium. I don't want to do that. I don't want to start saying premium. Thanks for talking about targets is dirty. It reminded me that the Warhammer 40K board game or 40,000, my apologies, for Space Marine that has a figure of the protagonist from the game they have that's supposed to be exclusive. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. You don't want to give. I am sorry to hear that, dirty, that I reminded you of that. or I'm glad that I reminded you of that. I don't know. I don't know how you're vibing. Is this the right way? This is the right way. Okay. I was like, I hope I didn't put the arm on wrong. But you know what? I couldn't put the arm on wrong. Because this only goes on this side. It only goes on the left. So I didn't do it wrong. I did it. Perfect. Hooray. I will say the glitter doesn't look great on the clear green. I thought this would look a lot better on the clear. It does. In person, it looks better than it does on camera. But it doesn't look that great. I wish this looked better. If I had any regrets, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. Manolito Star Wars. And Vicky, thank you for the follow. Appreciate that as well. Thank you. I'll try to forget tomorrow. I was going to pre-order the Messer Commander type before it ran out of stock. I'm still sad about that. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that did look good. I haven't done any pre-orders in a while. Actually, I only have one pre-order right now in stock, or coming to me. In September, I'm getting the Elfrith JUI. I don't know how we're pronouncing that yet. It's the Elfrith that has a backpack that is a big fist. Because why wouldn't... I mean, I've already built an Elfrith, but I want to build the Elfrith that has a big fist arm backpack. Modlight83 and Artistic Biologist, thank you for the follows. Appreciate that. It's very kind. For those who don't know, I build model kits on stream. I normally build. I rarely paint like this. But I normally build kits on Mondays and Thursdays and Saturdays from 9 p.m. Eastern to 11 p.m. Eastern. So we're about to wrap up. I only do 2-hour streams because I get a little loopy and I start making mistakes and then stickers don't work right. So I don't do more than 2 hours of building. And on Tuesdays at 9 p.m. to 11 p.m., I play video games or watch old wrestling, or every season at the end of the anime season, I talk about that season of anime and I preview the next season. I do that, so I do 4 of those a year. Something different on Tuesdays. This coming Tuesday, we're resuming my playthrough of Persona 4 Golden with mods. I have a lot of mods for the PC version of Persona 4 Golden, and also I'm using a level editor in there too. So not only am I using mods, I also edited my save file to make it easier. I'm doing a lot of bullshit in that game. But that is going to wrap up our stream here, I believe. Also, I haven't played Magic the Gathering since the 90s. I'm out of Magic the Gathering. I might buy the Fallout Commander box that's coming out in March. They announced a lot of shit at Gen Con. Final Fantasy, there's a bunch of crossover bullshit. But they announced Fallout, and I think a Fallout Commander deck, ooh. I might not buy them, but I'm definitely going to look at them and think long and hard about buying some choice, very good Fallout. Yeah, I'm gonna think about it a lot. I probably won't, because I don't play Magic, but yes. Yes. The Pinkerton shit, like you just send a cease and desist. YouTube will take the videos down. Like YouTube would have taken that video down in a heartbeat. It's just Magic cards. It's just go after the store that sent him the wrong thing and broke street date. But to send Pinkertons to a man's house, like, obviously that's a nightmare. The problem is that Kamigawa rules. Kamigawa is in my opinion, some of the coolest Magic Gathering shit. I understand why some people are like, Lord of the Rings, I'm back into Magic. I'm sorry, I'm back into Magic because I want the One Ring. Like, I get it. That's not my bag, but I get it. Kamigawa is where I'm like, this is pretty good. This is pretty good. Neon, also because Neon Dynasty is just a fucking cool phrase. Kamigawa Neon Dynasty is cool to say and to read and to look at. Anyway, here's our kids. Here's our lovely decked out kids. I'm going to take a photo of these. I'm going to do some nice photography of this. I'm going to put our friend on the throne and take some photos of that. Yes, Post Malone is very into Magic the Gathering, which is very fun for Post Malone. I think that's great. I don't particularly enjoy Post Malone in many aspects of Post Malone, but I do like when people with like real nerdy hobbies become very successful in their fields, and then they just get to do their hobby for a length of period of time. Like, that's fun. Just like, I'm Post Malone. I'm now going to do a bunch of cool Magic shit because I like Magic the Gathering. That's fun to me. Mech-based combat deck. Ooh, okay. Yeah, I think all these turned out great. We're going to end the stream there. But we're not done. We got raided tonight, which is lovely. It's always fun when a raid happens. We are going to share the love out there by also going out on a raid. We have to find some cool people doing some cool shit, and we're gonna go spend a little time with them because that is how we end every stream, is with a raid. I also have to set something up here. Let me just do that. Okay, so we're doing that. But yeah, we always end with a raid. So let's see who's out there doing some cool stuff. Yes, those Transformers cards also look cool. Is Ompuko still streaming? Let me see if Ompuko is still doing some stuff. Ompuko and Ra are streaming. So, Unpoco is doing a marathon here, the bit rate reduction marathon. To explain what this is, they've been playing some video games. They were in the back rooms. They were doing some VR stuff before. They're having a good time. If you want to donate to this person so that they can have money because they need it to live and to do things, you could do that. You could help out this person. What's your reward? The bit rate goes down. For every donation, I believe it's $1, the bit rate decreases by a minuscule amount and things start looking terrible. So the more money you donate, the worse the stream looks. And it's a very fun, cool idea that I think is just so fucking rad. It's such a fun idea to set up that program, to work very hard, to make a thing, to make your stream worse. Visually, content-wise, still great. So I encourage you to donate to further this process because it's fun and hang out with some cool people. Thank you very much for hanging out with me. I hope to see you on Monday when I start the Gundam Rose. I'm very excited to work on that kit. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you for watching me paint some kits and chatting with all of you. And I'll see you on the next one. And thanks for the new folks for stopping in and hanging out. Talk to you soon. Goodbye. Goodbye, 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 goodbye.